I think I blacked out. I've lost something very meaningful to me. And I wouldn't wish it to my worst enemy.
In 2024, your account went crazy, massive, and you hit 500,000 followers. And then overnight, you lost your page. The day that happened, tell us.
I went into massive depression. I lost 6 kilos in like 15 days. I didn't eat anything for 4 days straight, nothing.
At that point in your life, at that point when you got married, how were you thinking about your future?
You know, you have to be a wife. You have to, sorry to use the word, serve your husband.
13-year-old me would think I'm the coolest girl alive.
Yep.
Take us back to that 13-year-old Virdah.
If she ever saw me,
I don't think it's masculinity that's in us. I think in us, it's resilience. Our guest today is the truly inspiring Virdah Javed Khan, better known as Mom in Dubai. Virdah's journey has seen her evolve from a corporate cubicle into becoming a beloved content creator. For 9 years, she's poured her heart and soul into building a platform that has over 1 million followers. But her path hasn't been without its challenges. In a true testament of her resilience, Virdah lost her account when it hit 500K. And guess what? Instead of stopping, she continued showing up and moving forward. Let's get into it. Welcome, Virdah.
thank you.
I want to start with a reel of yours that really stayed with me, where you wrote, 13-year-old me would think I'm the coolest girl alive.
Yep.
Take us back to that 13-year-old Virdah. What was life like for her? And at that age, were there any expectations around the kind of life she was supposed to live?
I don't think there were any expectations, but there was a lot of daydreaming.
Okay.
A lot. You know how we always see Bollywood movies, too big. So the dreams were like that, but I didn't know how to achieve those dreams. It was just daydreaming at the end of the day. Dreaming that I'll be wearing the best clothes, I'll be traveling the world, I'll be going to the best places in the world, or, you know, having a fabulous life. And there were not many means to make that happen as a 13-year-old. You know, I've always been very present in my life. So I live in the present. I know my reality. And to step out of that reality seemed a little difficult at that time.
Okay.
So now when I look back and I think of my 13-year-old self, I'm like, oh, if she ever saw me, she'd be like, oh, this is it. This is what I want to be.
Okay, amazing. I know you met your husband at 18 and you married a few years later. At that point in your life, at that point when you got married, how were you thinking about your future and the person you wanted to become?
It was exactly like how we were told. You know, you have to be a wife. You have to, sorry to use the word, serve your husband. Like from morning till evening, you have to cook, you have to take care of the house, you have to take care of the kids. You have to have that perfect wife look. At the same time, you have to look good as well. Like there is no negotiation when it comes to looking good. You always have to look good.
Okay, that is an expectation of a wife.
Yeah,
Of a
of
bahu.
course, of a bahu. Irrespective of how many kids you've birthed, what hormone changes you go through. I mean, like, nobody talks about it, nobody even cares. But you have to look good for your husband. And it was similar to that. On the contrary, my husband always told me, like, you know, don't you have any goals? Like, what are your goals? How do you see yourself in the next 5 years? And I was kind of like always blank. He's 3 years older to me. So I always thought, like, maybe he's older. That's why he's talking like this.
Oh,
You know,
really?
maybe I'm younger. But to be honest, as a young girl, I didn't have many dreams. I always wanted to get married, be a mom, and be a housewife. And now when I look back, I want to just go and give myself a slap.
So you're saying when you got married, your only goal was to be that perfect wife, raise the, good family,
Yeah.
and be pretty all day, just because that's what you're expected to do for your husband.
That's what you're told to do.
That's what you're told to do. And
Yeah.
you were okay with that.
Yeah, educated girl, but she needs to make gold roti.
Goal roti.
That was the expectation.
And was that different from your 13-year-old self, of that dreamy life, the 13-year-old girl
Actually,
wanted?
the 13-year-old self had similar expectations. You know, your dreams are made with what you're expected to do. So it just changes like a little bit. Like, you look good, you have a perfect family,
Okay.
you're liked by everyone.
You're liked by everyone.
Yeah, you travel with your husband.
You're traveling,
Yeah.
but with your husband.
With your husband.
With your husband.
With your husband and with your kids.
Amazing. I know you mentioned that it's your husband who asked you about your goals. And I know he encouraged you at that time to have your goals of your own at that phase of your life. Tell us, looking back now, how important do you think that encouragement was?
I think my husband has been the only voice in my life who's told me that I could achieve something more than what I'm expected to do.
Wow.
I think
Really?
that's the only voice. My father always told me that, you have to get married into a nice family, complete your education, and then you'll get married. My father was very against corporate jobs. So the only job he allowed me was to teach.
Okay.
And then I'm kind of a person who always makes the best of the situation that is given to her. So I was teaching. I was teaching from 7 a.m. till 10 p.m. at night. I was teaching at a school. Then I had a visiting job in my university as a visiting lecturer. And then at home, I had like a very mini academy setup where I was teaching maths and physics to O-level and A-level kids.
Oh, wow.
So I had like one session after the other, one session after the other. But that also was because I had met my husband at that time.
Okay.
And he told me, you've done your bachelor's. We can't get married now because I don't have a proper job. I need to have a proper setup before we get married. So why don't you enroll yourself in master's? Why don't you get a job? Do something with your life. And even when we moved here, he told me, I'm not going to take you everywhere. You have to find your own way. You're here. This is a place of opportunities. So make the best out of whatever you can do.
So are you saying that the home setup of the academia or, giving classes was also something that he encouraged? Like,
not necessarily, but he pushed me. He said, you can't sit idle at home. You need to do something. And teaching was something that was accessible for me because I didn't have to take permission from my dad. It was something that he will approve of. I didn't have to go to too many places to do that, or, I didn't have to travel. I could do in my own little setup. This was all I could do, so I did it.
Exactly as you mentioned, that I know you went on to study further. You went and got your master's in mass communication and started working, right? When you earned your own money for the first time, what shifted in you emotionally?
Oh, it was the kind of freedom I had never experienced. I did earn money. I started earning money when I was 16 because I used to give tuitions. And it was 5,000 rupees in Pakistan. That's like, it was good at that time. But I didn't use it on myself.
You just saved it and gave it to your parents, or what?
I gave it to my parents.
Full?
So full. So I never got to use it on myself. But after my master's, the money started flowing a lot because I was working from 7 a.m. till 10 p.m. And in Pakistan, academies do really well.
Okay.
So I was earning very good. And that's the first time I tasted freedom, where I could buy things for myself. I could buy things for my family. I could take my nephew and niece out for a day out, get them whatever they wanted. And it was nice. And I was saving it also.
Okay.
So, I was secure in a way that I have some money.
Okay.
And, I can do things for myself. At that time, my goal was to get married.
Okay.
So I was saving up for my marriage.
How old were you at that age, if I may ask?
I was 21.
21.
This is from 21 till 23. I was working. I was making it.
Okay. All right. And now let's move on to when you came to Dubai. Yeah. So tell me, what led you to move to Dubai and what changed for you once you got here?
First, I'll tell you a very funny story. So before moving to Dubai, I didn't do any research.
About Dubai?
Nothing. I was just focused on getting married to the love of my life.
Okay.
That was it for me. And before that, it was because I did everything for my wedding. So I was very stressed. I was very anxious. I didn't know his family much because we had met only like a couple of times. So it was like everything needs to go perfect. So I was just worried about all the preparation. And I remember we landed in Dubai and my husband was driving me through Sheikh Zayed Road, and I was so tired, so sleepy. And he said, look, that's Burj Khalifa. I was like, yeah. I didn't even know what Burj Khalifa is.
Oh my God, what year is this?
This was 2013.
2013? You don't know what Burj Khalifa is? Oh God,
I've always lived in my bubble.
I think there are
even
pros
now,
and cons of that.
I think even now I live in my own bubble.
Best.
With my blinders on, just doing what I have to do.
It's important to, close the noise or like get away from the noise. And what changed for you once you moved here?
First, I had to do interviews because previously all my jobs, people knew me because I was their student.
Okay.
I worked in the same school where I had done my O-level and A-level from. And finding a job was difficult here.
How long did it take you to get your first job?
So I met someone in the bus in Abu Dhabi. She worked in HR, and she said, "See, I don't have any job like a corporate job, but I'm doing this invigilationship at Paris Sorbonne University, and I think you'll be a great fit." So I said, "Okay." There was no interview. We just had to go and do like normal invigilation.
Okay.
So I did that part time. And there I met someone who was working in Etisalat, and she was also doing a part-time job. And she got me my first interview.
Wow. That's
Before that, I
amazing.
applied so many times on LinkedIn, not a single interview.
Not a single interview,
No.
but you kept going.
Yeah.
Good. And exactly, I think Etisalat was your first 9 to 5 job, right? Did you enjoy the stability of it, or you knew that you wanted to do something else?
I loved it.
What?
I loved it. The moment I finished my work and I would come home, you know how you walk with the briefcase in hand, your laptop and everything, and you're wearing heels. I used to feel so good about myself that I've done something good during the day. It was a new experience working with new people in a completely new setup, and something that I was learning.
Yeah.
And every single day that I learned something and I finished my work, I felt really good about myself.
Wow. So you enjoyed the stability.
Yeah, I loved it.
Okay. And when did Zedu happen? Like, how many years did you work? And
So we had Zedan 3 years after I got married, and it was exactly around 2 years after I started working.
okay. So there was about a year where it was adjusting to a new city, new
Yeah.
job, and getting into motherhood.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a lot of, change and uncertainty. And in that time, what was your day-to-day like? Like, what was that period for you?
When I had Zedan,
Yeah, like juggling a job, new city, and motherhood.
so I worked throughout my pregnancy, and I intended to work even after. But somehow it didn't work out because I was constantly calling home and checking up on my baby. And my mom said, you can either work or you can either bring up your kid. So I chose motherhood, and I didn't like it a bit. At that time, I think I was going through major postpartum depression, which I had no awareness about.
Okay.
Nothing, zero. I don't think anybody ever in my life, even my sister had kids, but she never spoke about postpartum depression, so I wasn't aware. And it was so, and at that time, we didn't have ChatGPT. I wish we had, so I would write to ChatGPT, why around Maghrib time or like in the evening, I get heavy, I feel like crying, and I feel like the walls are shrinking, I feel like the world is ending. It was very bad. It was very bad. It is something that I don't want to go back to because it was the worst period of my life. And imagine that as a young mom, and then you have your baby who's just started to, sit up, and he has this big eyes and he's looking at you, and you're in the worst state. That's how I would put it. You're in the worst space. Maybe if I had awareness, I would have gotten help. I would have done something, but I didn't have anything. And I had just resigned from my job.
Okay, you had already resigned.
I had resigned. It was, I resigned 3 months after my son was born. And this is exactly when he was 4 months old. So I had spent 1 month completely in shambles, not knowing what to do. I was fighting with my husband. I was calling him and I was saying, you don't love me anymore. You don't come home at time. And is this my life? I had just come back from Pakistan, so I couldn't even go back to my parents. And with no village, literally no village. I was doing everything myself. Maybe that was also my fault. I should have asked for help, but I didn't know how to, And I just resigned from work, so I wasn't like bringing money. So I thought like if I get help, or if I go back home, I'm spending money that is, that I could put best use to.
Did you feel like you were missing your independence? Or what is it?
No, it was depression.
It was depression.
It was very bad depression. Something, you're not in your body. You look at yourself in the mirror and you see someone else. You have so many responsibilities all of a sudden. You don't get your sleep. You're trying to lose weight. So, you have that, you're not eating well. And then you have that, thing.
Yeah.
When you don't eat well.
Yeah. When you don't eat well, it's just the worst.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
so
you
it
don't
was
sleep
all kinds of worse. And my husband at that time, he was building his career. So he would come back home around 9, 10. I don't blame him because he was, how the work environment is sometimes, it gets you. So I don't even blame him.
So now for anyone watching and after having gone through, this postpartum depression and saying you didn't ask for help, you didn't have the right help, ChatGPT didn't exist, What would you say to any woman out there who's maybe going through the same thing that you are?
Get help.
What
Be
kind
aware.
of help?
Be aware that there is postpartum depression. There are ways to handle it, of course. You can do certain things. You can leave your housework. You don't have to do everything, and everything does not need to be perfect. What matters is that your kid has a happy mom. So do whatever it takes for your happiness. There is no rush to lose weight. You can lose weight on your own time. I mean, the pressure that there is, how moms should snap back after pregnancy, I think we should just get over it. Everybody has different body type. Everybody has different hormones.
Yeah.
It takes time.
It takes time. It can take time.
You have to
and it's
accept
okay
that.
if it takes time.
Yeah, it's okay. You have to
Yeah.
accept that. As long as your baby is fed, you're happy, he sees you happy, you're good with your husband is good with you. I think you need to provide a healthy environment for your kid. He's not going to see you that my mom is a little overweight or my mom is not well kept. He's going to see a happy mom, a dancing mom, somebody who gives him time. So I think that's all that matters.
Interesting. No, I think, and acceptance would be a big part of it, right?
Yeah.
And I want to get to the next phase, which is what, you're saying that you were so stable and so happy about your corporate job. So what made you think, even briefly, that content creation could be something you could do?
Okay, so there is a misconception now that people who want to start content creation journey is that they think they want to make money.
Correct.
By creating content. It's very well known, like it pays good.
Yeah.
People are well aware of it. When I started, there was remotely any thought of getting money. It was mostly to get invited to events, or it was mostly to, just be active on social media or to get connected with people. So when I started, there was no question of that I'll be getting money out of it. Not at all. And I think that helped me build a community.
Right.
Because I was myself. I was sharing genuine things about my life. And people wanted to see a mom who was doing everything at home that they're doing, like cleaning, taking care of the kid, cooking food. And then at the end of the day, she'll put up like a nice picture with her kid. And she'll all well dressed.
Yeah.
And she looks good. I think moms do need to see that.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that, okay, if she can do it, that I can also do it. I don't need to be stay at home and not well kept.
Yeah.
I remember my first post was from PJs to PJs, something like this.
Okay.
Because in the morning I will change and wear my PJs because I didn't have any place to go, so I wouldn't dress up. And at night, when you're done with all the housework, you take a shower, you get into PJs.
Right.
That was my life.
Oh, wow. From that to look at you, glam queen. So exactly, Virdah, you started content creation when, it was not a pivot trend to be an influencer like it is now. And I don't know how many people know, but your growth wasn't fast. You actually took 2 years to hit your first 10,000 followers. Is that right? And you've been doing this for 9 long years. Right? To the people who say that, oh, look at her, she has it easy. You've been doing this for 9 years and it took you 2 years to hit your 10K mark. And today you're at over 1 million followers. It's amazing. It's beautiful. Most people would have given up long before that, but you didn't. What made you keep going?
So there are 3 phases, but first I want to say that I enjoyed my journey on social media. I somehow love creating content. And before I hit my 10K, or before anything happened, there were pictures only. So it was easier.
Correct.
Pictures are easier to, bring together. For me, the pivotal moment in my journey would be COVID.
Okay.
When TikTok took over and people started making videos.
Okay.
So that was a transition from photos to videos, and it's not easy. Because photos is, you set up a camera or somebody takes your picture, you take like multiple pictures and you choose one and you post one picture. But video is something that you cannot do errors at, especially if it's like lip syncing or something. I think that was the pivotal moment for me because I, without thinking of anything, got into it.
Okay.
I started shooting videos. At that time, not many mom bloggers did that or dared to do that.
Okay. What kind of videos were you making?
So I was making like coffee videos, dressing up videos, makeup videos.
Yeah, you were doing a bit of everything, I remember.
Because I didn't want to be just a mom blogger. I wanted to do everything because I'm not just a mom. I'm myself also, and I like dressing up. I like doing my makeup. And I wanted to experiment that into creating videos. Two things helped me at that time: creating videos, TikToks, and the Instagram stories, because they were videos. Our feed was pictures,
But the stories,
the stories, they really helped me. And until and unless you give it a try, you make your first very cringy video, you're not going to get to your 100th very good video.
Yeah.
You have to give it a try. You have to do it. And I'm very proud of myself that I did that. Given the circumstances, it was COVID.
Yeah.
You didn't have much to do. You were kept in an apartment where the situation was like every day you have to get up and you have to get ready. You have to think of a concept and you have to just do the video. And then the second, see, everybody can do content creation. Posting anything, it takes a lot of courage. But then at the end of the day, you can hire videographers, you can hire content creators, or you can, get inspiration from someone's content and then create it. But to hit that point where you go viral, something that gives you your signature style, your individuality, and to take that and continue with it, not everybody can do that.
Exactly.
That's where you hit the goal, and that's where you keep on going. I've done that twice, but the first time I started going viral was for my opinions about living in with your in-laws. That
I think you're still going viral for that. You're still...
I do have a lot to say. Not that it's my life, but I have a lot to say. But I didn't like it how people started perceiving me that this is my life and this is how I am with my in-laws. So I didn't want that, so I stopped. And then I kept going with my other kind of content, like every day. I tried everything. I tried Get Ready With Me videos. I tried makeup videos. I tried cooking videos. I tried cooking makeover videos. And then one day...
in 2024 is when your cooking ASMR videos hit it.
Yeah.
And you went viral and you said something very smart, which I think can be used as a strategy for content creators. When you identify that one thing that makes you go viral, you run with it.
Yeah.
You run with it.
You do it every day. You do it twice a day. You don't
You've
give up.
done it.
Yeah, I have done.
You've done it.
I've made 3 cooking videos in a single day because I knew that the next 2 days are busy for me. I won't be able to shoot it, but I need to post a video every day because this is working out for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's very smart to identify it and to run with it.
Yeah.
For me, I think my transformation videos are like that, but I don't
vlogs.
Yeah, vlogs.
Transformation videos and your vlogs. I love watching your vlogs.
But then it takes too much discipline to do them every day. But, going back to that point now, that's great that, you found your voice or something that really sets you apart or worked with you, not once, but twice. What would you advise any of the content creators that are listening who haven't found their voice yet?
I think do everything.
Do everything.
Until and unless you do everything, you don't know what's going to crack for you. And once you do, then keep doing that. Sometimes you might not like it, but you have to do it. You must have seen so many content creators. They do a different kind of content, but when you meet them personally, they're a different person. But that's working out for them. That's their social media persona. You have to be very deliberate of what you put out there. Everything is intentional.
Yeah.
So
it has to be.
It has to be. After a certain point, it has to be. You know your angles. You know what you want to say. You know how your content needs to be like. So it is intentional.
For me, when I think about intentional, right? And I say this to you because I know you're very protective of your energy.
Yeah.
You said it before also, you know how to keep your blinders on. And I think it's important to be intentional with social media, right? Because not everybody deserves to know everything about you.
Yeah.
You're very private, no? As a person, you're cautious of your surroundings.
Now. I think I have the privilege now to be private and not post everything. But initially, when you're starting out, because at that time it was more like vlogs that people were sharing more of what's happening in their house, moments with their husband. And to chase that, I think I did that. Now I feel like I'm at a point where I don't need to do that. I feel like my content should be 3 things. It should be informative, entertaining, and it should be productive. Like it should be inspiring. It should tell you something about me. And that's what I go with.
Virdah, when did content creation start bringing in the real money? Like when did it start bringing in real money, and how did that change your lifestyle and sense of independence?
So I started content creation in 2016.
2016. We're going to hit 10 years next year. Wow.
Yeah. And The real money, I would say it started coming in somewhere between 2020 and 2021.
Wow, it took you 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Of posting every single day. I didn't take a break. Not a single day of break. I posted every single day.
From 2016 to nearly
Yeah.
2020?
Yeah. I still do. I post every single day.
Every day?
Yes.
You haven't missed a day?
Maybe one or two, but I posted every single day.
Oh, wow. That's discipline.
Yeah.
What if you're feeling uninspired?
I had posts ready,
Okay.
you know,
So you keep your content.
pre-planned. Also because the kind of engagement that you get, it's very addictive. You want to know what people are saying about you. You want to know, like, if you post something, how many people like your post or bring you comments or like anything you share about your life. I mean, there is no point of posting something if you're not getting the feedback.
There's a difference between feedback and getting addicted to the validation.
So I feel like all kind of engagement is welcome at this point because it brings you reach. Now it's up to you if you want validation from strangers or if you can have self-validation.
So that's what I'm saying now. That's what I'm asking you. That you're saying that, okay, engagement is good. Yeah, engagement is good. But like, how objective-led is your reasoning to do content? Like,
I do it for myself. I do it for my family. Now it's my source of income. It's my job. So I do it as a job. I wake up every day in the morning. I drop my son to school. And then I get ready and, start creating content. And I've been doing this ever since. Like, it's my job. So I do content
you treat it like
creation.
that. You
I
treat
treat
it like
that. As for self-validation, I mean, the numbers do well. And we do like numbers. But at the end of the day, if somebody says something about me, the way I look, the way I dress up, the way my house is, the way my family is, I don't care. When it reaches a point where it crosses a boundary, I just block people. I don't open those DMs.
Yeah, we don't need that energy.
Yeah, like I post on TikTok, but I don't read the comments on TikTok. And I don't dare read comments on Facebook. Never.
Oh, you post on Facebook as well?
I post on Facebook as well.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I haven't tried YouTube yet because the posting is kind of a little tricky. It takes time. You need to have patience to sit and post on YouTube. But I don't read comments. The only comments that I read is on Instagram because that's my community. I've built from scratch, from day one. Some of my followers I've met. Two of my best friends are my followers.
What?
Yes, one from 9 years ago. I had 800 followers when she messaged me. And we're going to be celebrating 10 years of friendship next year.
Yeah. Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that. So going back to the question, when you said when the real money started coming in, which was 4 to 5 years, and how did that change your lifestyle and sense of independence?
So in the beginning, it didn't bring much change to my lifestyle. So me and my husband, we are both very grounded. And when you come to Dubai, when you come to UAE, you come with a plan. And that plan is not like forever because, you can't stay here forever. That's the idea you have in your mind. Now things have changed. You get the golden visa. But we were always very conscious about that, we need to save enough that if something happens, we can keep the same lifestyle. So we never went beyond our means and we never went extravagant in our lifestyle. That kept us very grounded and that kept us very consistent in our life. So when the money started coming in, it didn't bring much change to my life because we were living
as you would,
comfortable, as we would. But I did things for my family. I did things for my parents. I don't think I would have done that if I had a job, with the expenses, with the kid, and sending your kids to a better school, giving them a better lifestyle, traveling.
Yeah.
I mean, these are the things my husband could have done as well. But when we combined ourselves together, when we are a team, when you're husband and wife, you become a team, you can upgrade your life. You can make it better.
But you need to have a husband who's okay with that vision, right?
Yes, I think in that aspect, my husband and I, we've known each other for a very long time. And more than what he does in his life or how successful he is or how successful I am, if I'm envious of him, if he's envious of me, we have that love. And we have the teenage love, the love that knows no bounds, the love we don't even know where the next meal is going to come from. He didn't have a job when I met him. And yeah, he didn't have a job. He was a student when I met him. So he got a job in Pakistan, and then he was like, no, I can't keep my family in Pakistan how I want to. So I need a better opportunity. And he came to Dubai. He found a job. He spent a year to get settled down and everything. He had a vision. And then I didn't have any vision. But then I made a vision.
Wow.
And then together, we are where we
Upgrading
are.
the
We
vision.
upgraded our lives.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
I
That's
think
amazing.
it's because we are a team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, right, a little off topic, I see the internet talk about two sides. One, which is, oh, men need to provide, or their masculinity is at threat, or, you know, you need to be a passenger princess. I don't think I'm okay with either sides.
Yeah.
You know, I think if we expect the man to be hands-on and he needs to change the diapers, then share the load equally, right?
I agree. And in today's world, you know, how the economy is.
Yeah.
How can you sustain on one person's income?
And why should that pressure, you know, be on one person?
Yeah.
Similarly, like, okay, if you want to bring up the house, if both the parents need to be involved, or both partners, similarly, if there's a life that you both want to create, then share the load, no? Equally.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like, you know, our society comes from a different thought, and it's difficult to change that thought sometimes. Or there's so many times they talk about, you're a powerful woman. I know how you are, Virdah. I'm, you know, pretty much, I also have an opinion of my own. And the first thing people say is, oh, like, oh, you're so, you know, opinionated, or you have your own ways. कैसे लड़का मिलेगा? कैसे मिलेगा?
क्यों नहीं मिलेगा? लड़का मिलेगा, हमारे type का मिलेगा. But then again, you know, with I don't know if marriage is our topic for today, but when it comes to marriage, it has to be a team effort.
Yeah.
You both have to be in it together. So both are definitely going to be making compromises, and both are going to put out your opinions. One has to let go, one has to keep up, but there has to be a balance. It cannot be like men are dominating the women, and
Yeah.
it cannot be the other way
wrong.
around. And it can also not be like you're putting up that pressure that to give me that luxurious lifestyle. If you bring in necessities, a man is supposed to bring you necessities.
Correct.
Home, food, clothing, and a lifestyle, whatever he can bring.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to upgrade it, if you want luxuries, go out and work for yourself. Why not?
Yeah, I know. I agree. I agree with that thought.
Yeah, girls are
100%.
buying their houses, girls
yeah.
are buying their G-Wagons.
Yeah, I know.
Go buy.
You know, which brings me to my next question, which is, and it's a bit important one. As millennials, most of us have grown watching our mothers become the best homemakers.
Yeah.
And I think our generation moved into the hustle culture ourselves. But you see the Gen Z going towards the soft life, or going towards the trad wife content that is trending. In that context, how important do you think it is for a woman to have her own money today, and what does it represent to you?
I think money is everything. If we compare our moms, most of the millennials' moms, they didn't work. So they were depending on their husbands for everything, literally everything. And they were very empathetic. So even if they had the means, they would be like 10 steps back from their means. And then we came in where we first started to taste our own money. And we were like,
of independence.
okay, I know what food I like, so I'm going to order that. I'm not going to share with my kids, or I'm not going to leave everything for my husband. I'm going to eat first. If I'm well fed, I'm going to feed the family well. And then you started buying your own things. Girls got their first cars.
Yes.
They got their houses. They got jobs. And they started doing very well for themselves. Now, coming back to Gen Z, I think Gen Z have that edge where I think money is good now. There are multiple sources of income. A lot of Gen Zs have gone into crypto.
Yeah.
So the money has come from crypto, and it's very good money. And a lot of Gen Z is doing content creation. If not content creation, they're at the back end.
Yeah.
You know,
Filming, editing.
previously girls were not given so many opportunities. I mean, the jobs were like doctor, banker,
That's
and
it.
then you get married and then you have kids. But now, and even now, they're taking gaps to have kids. Having kid at 23, 24, 25, or having a kid at 30 is different. You have 7 years worth of income where you can keep as a saving and you can spend on your kids. You can be at a stay-at-home mom. You can be the trad wife. And most of the trad wives are earning, by the way. So there is one kind of content that I don't agree with. These content creators, when they say, you know, my husband did everything, or I am a passenger princess, or I booked the ticket, I did nothing. You are paying for it.
Yeah.
You have a job. This content creation paid for the man as well. Why aren't you telling the truth?
Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
If
Because
you
they're
paid-
putting up a very wrong picture for the ones watching and creating unrealistic expectations.
It sells. Like in my videos, when I cook for my husband, it sells.
That's what
I eat myself first.
Yeah.
I'm the one eating it, but it sells.
Yeah, you have to do what you have to do, I guess. But then I think then it creates a wrong impression, which people shouldn't be so delulu about social media and what they see online, right?
I think a lot of girls, maybe the girls who have not reached their potential, they are delulu. But the girls who have reached their potential,
They know.
look at yourself. You know what you're capable of.
Yeah.
You know what you can achieve.
And we know what it takes.
Yeah, of course.
Like we're very clear of the story that, hello, nothing here comes easy. Vida, I want to go into a very perhaps difficult phase of your life, which is when you literally lost it all. In 2024, your account went crazy, massive, and you hit 500,000 followers when your cooking ASMR videos were all the rage. And then overnight, you lost your page. The day that happened, tell us, what was that day like? What were you feeling?
So I'll just give you like a little backstory. Before that day happened, I think around 40 to 45 of my videos were going viral. And by viral, I mean 20 million views. Each video was getting me 40, 50,000 followers.
Oh my God.
Yes. And losing the account, first, when I lost the account, I don't know what happened. I think I blacked out. That was a phase I felt like I've lost something very meaningful to me. And it wasn't the money. It was my account.
Yeah, it was your work.
Yeah.
You're telling me you posted every day. It's your platform. It's 500,000 followers.
And right after the kind of viral or like going global or going viral, it happened. If it had happened, maybe when I wasn't going viral, no, I think it would have hit me the same way. It would have hit me the same way, and I wouldn't wish it to my worst enemy. Like something like this. I went into massive depression. I lost 6 kilos in like 15 days.
Oh my God.
I didn't eat anything for 4 days straight. Nothing. I was just praying and praying. So I won't go into detail of how I felt about it, but it was a big loss. And it was you losing your account and then rejection day after another. I'll tell you rejection how. I had campaigns running, some of which I was dropped off. You were very kind, by the way. I remember I sent you a message. I was like, I posted the campaign. I'll give you back the money.
Yeah, I remember that.
But there were some campaigns I was dropped out of like this within
Something
a minute.
you posted for or you were supposed to post
I was supposed to post. I had filmed. I had done everything. There was my first ever. So I had many opportunities of going on trips. I never took it because my son was small. He was young. And that was the first opportunity I took to go for a trip. It was a trip to Barcelona, from Barcelona to Italy, Spain, I think Rome. And they dropped me.
Wow.
And I had gone through the visa process.
Oh, wow.
The Schengen visa process. I was so sad. They dropped me. And there were many campaigns. They were like, we'll talk about it when you get your account back. But those 5 weeks and then, chasing out to people will tell me, this person works in Meta. Reach out to them and they will not reply to you. They will see your message, they will not reply to you. Maybe they didn't know me. I don't blame anyone. And then the strike was so bad and I was clueless what has happened. So it was a difficult time, and the rejection, one rejection after the other, it hit me very bad. And I think it took me 2 days to realize, okay, this is it. This is happening. You can't do much. Let me open another account.
And I think that's what I want to talk about, Virdah, when your world feels like it's gotten over and to make it worse, you're getting rejections. You didn't stop. You made another account, kept moving forward, and that account hit 100K followers in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
What makes you do something like that? Like, how do you do that?
I think the same thing, that I went viral and I didn't stop with that virality. And the fact that I had built my community from day one. 9 years of community. Even if people didn't like me, they also came in my support. Oh, nahi yaar, iske saath bura ho gaya. It shouldn't have happened.
Exactly. And like, it's so amazing to see you created that, another account by Virdah. And exactly, because you did everything yourself. That's why 100,000 people within 2 weeks. Like, that says something.
Yeah.
But like, tell us, what made you do that? How do you, when you feel like your world is ending?
I think it's a pressure. It's a pressure that you are on social media one day and then you're not. You start getting messages. Then my sister was getting messages from my followers. Where's your sister? we cannot find mom in Dubai. What happened to her? Is everything good to her? I think I owed it to my followers also. I didn't want them to worry, to be honest.
Okay.
No matter how bad my situation was, I wanted to let them know that something has happened. It's out of my control. I don't know what I can do. So if you want to get connected with me, this is it. I'm here.
Wow, to have that kind of acceptance.
And also,
grace.
I had 3 very nice videos lined up. I wanted the world to see my content.
Oh my God, organic.
Yeah.
Wow, wow. इसको बोलते हैं शिद्दत. I swear, this is like, अरे, I have 3 videos.
अरे देखो मैंने मेहनत की है, मेरा content देखो.
Very good, yeah. ये spirit सबकी हो तो मतलब और क्या चाहिए नहीं?
You need to have that spirit. You need to have that. I think in every field, even if you get fired from a job or if you resign, you want to do something else, you have a dip in your business, you need to have that drive. Okay, I can do it again. Let me do it again. Let me do what I'm meant to do. Let me do what I can do best. And at that time, it was my ASMR videos.
Yes.
So I had to keep on going. I had to let people know that the person you saw going viral just 2 months ago, you know, she's here.
She's there. That's amazing. That's beautiful. And I was going to ask you, maybe you can lean in from this answer, which is looking back at this experience. I'm sure it was traumatic, but like, what did this teach you, and what can others listening really take away from this about how you fell apart, but which can happen in life, right? So
I would say this wasn't my first rodeo.
oh, really?
I've been let down in life many times before. Even as a kid, something will happen that will remain in your memory, and you'll feel like, this was the worst moment for me as kids, you know. So those moments live with you, and then you have to get over those moments. You have to get over those downfalls.
Do you think you do something as a person on a daily basis that helps you get, because not everyone takes downfall easily, Virdah?
It's my blinders, to be honest. Like, I don't see people, I don't get jealous from people, I don't get competitive with people if they're doing well in their life and I'm not. I am in my own lane. If I'm at point 1 today, I have to be at point 2 tomorrow. So I have to be better than myself from what I was yesterday. That's the only thing that keeps me going. And that's the only thing that you should worry about. You should be competing with yourself. You should better yourself, not with others. Because the others are not showing what they're lacking or what bad they're going in their, what something's wrong is going in their life. Or maybe they're going through something very tough, very hard. You know, people have their baggages.
Obviously,
They're
everyone
not going to
just
show
puts
them.
up
They're not going to carry our baggages, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I'm completely of that mindset, but I want to know, what do you do to build that mindset?
I think now I'm at a place where I can still say that, you know, even now in this position, I don't rely on anyone. I rely on myself.
You are a one-woman powerhouse. I mean, I know you shoot, edit, your invoicing, your contracts, your briefing calls, everything you do.
Thank you so much. No, even when it comes to my husband, he's amazing. He's my support. He's my everything. I love him to death. But I don't rely on him to do things for me. I have to do it myself. And I'm not going to put pressure on anybody else also to do things for me. Or like, I'm at a position where I can build a team and I can ask them, you know, you need to give me content creation ideas or you need to shoot for me. But at the same time, it's not me. I want to be myself in the content that I post. You know what I mean? I know a lot of creators who cannot shoot.
Yeah.
Who cannot create content, but they're content creators. And it's okay, whatever's working for them. But for me, I have to rely on myself. The moment I have to shoot with someone other than you, I am so anxious. I can't function because things are not in my control. So maybe because I have to be in control of myself. It's a good thing. It's a curse. It's a blessing. I'll take both.
I was going to ask you, because do you think, I'm similar. I like being, I'm okay to delegate. I think I had to learn how to delegate in my 3rd year.
You have to. You have an empire.
Today, right? Today I have a team. But I think in my year 3, I had to learn how to delegate. And it took every ounce of me to understand that, Nikki, someone else is not going to work like you. And guess what? That is probably the best part. So relax.
It brings you ease. Once you get comfortable with it, it does bring you ease.
But I want to know, because, you know, hyper-independence or hyper-self-reliance can also be treated like, oh, she's too masculine, although you're very feminine, Virdah. Tell me, how do you make sure your feminine and masculine is in balance? It's not?
It's something that I don't think much about. I think I'm built like this. I'm built like my mom, and my mom did have that more of that masculine energy. Though my brother around me, he doesn't feel safe because he is like, you open the door before me, you walk in front of me. What's wrong with you? Get in your feminine. Sometimes people come in your life that who make you aware, and I am blessed to have that one friend. She did make me aware of a lot of things. Still, it takes a lot from you from what you used to.
Yeah.
I don't think it's for me. I would want to be that poise and, not rushing to pay that bill, but it just takes everything away from me. It's not me.
I know.
I have to be that person.
I know what you mean, and I feel you. To let someone else carry my bags also is still very, very hard.
Yeah.
But Virdah, I took a trip to China this year where my brother was there, and he's younger than me. I know your brother's younger than you. And I would definitely give him the credit because he led the trip in such a beautiful way. And Virdah, I just felt like a little sister. Like, I mean, a little sister when I'm the older sister.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. It was ease. He created the environment for me, which allowed me to work to 10x of my potential. So I was my masculine best where I needed to be. But the environment he crafted for me was, and not just me and my team member, because we're together, it was bliss.
So I'm sure you meet a lot of people and you've traveled a lot. And it took your brother to create that environment for you to get your feminine side out. Now we have to understand that not everybody is capable of doing that. Not everybody has the capacity to do that. So to expect it from someone, it's okay. You want to expect, it's okay. But if that person doesn't fulfill or doesn't come up to those expectations, you have to understand that, okay, that's fine.
That's fine.
That's also fine.
Yeah. I'm not even telling you to have that expectation. I'm not saying that to you. I love being self-reliant. I don't want to rely on anyone. I can be a one-woman show easily.
Sometimes your expectations are very high, and even somebody, if they try to, you're like,
yeah. Now, I'm not telling you to have expectations, but I'm saying if you find the environment is right, it's okay. Let it be. So, because I know I find it hard to,
I think I find that in that kind of environment with my sister, my older sister.
Okay, amazing.
Because with her, I'm like, you do everything. But then she's in her masculine, na? One person has to be.
Oh God, we women, and I think we,
And
millennial
I think
women.
with my friends also, I have that energy that I want to do for them. I feel good.
Yeah.
I feel like if I can do something for someone, why not?
Why not? I agree.
Yeah.
That I think is coming from a
And
different
when
place.
someone does it for me, I'm like in a lot of burden that I can't handle. That I have to repay. I have to compensate. It's wrong. I know it's wrong.
Yeah, you should be open to receiving, Virdah. Receiving is also important.
That could be my 2026 goal.
Yeah, it's okay to receive.
I'll manifest it.
Yeah. Okay, and then now you eventually got your account back, and today you're at 1 million, and that's a beautiful, beautiful milestone. And Virdah, I respect you so much for the consistency and discipline you show up with your content creation. And obviously, with this level of visibility comes the trolling and the noise. And how do you stay focused and not let it get to you?
I enjoy it because I can make content out of it.
You actually, I have seen your sass level and it's incredible.
I'm a very funny person, but my humor is a bit dry. Like you have to have that kind of intellect to understand it.
You can be very funny. I've seen.
Yeah, I can be funny. I like the trolls as long as they don't cross a boundary. Some things I don't allow. So you have the block button. Like you don't have to create a ruckus around it where people can go on the stories and say like, you can't talk to me like this, or I don't owe you this.
Looking back at your journey, Virdah, what would you say is the formula for you to making it mumkin?
The hustle mindset, the making mumkin mindset. You have to make it mumkin, whatever is given to you. So my funda in life is, whatever circumstances are given to you, you make the best of it. If you start idealizing your circumstances, that once I get the DSLR or once I get the iPhone 17 Pro Max, only then I'm going to create a content. Or once I get the whole Huda Beauty makeup things and everything, the high-end makeup, only then I'm going to create content. Or when I have luxury bags, only then I'm going to create content. No. You get there. There's a step.
Yeah.
Step by step. Unless you're born into generational wealth or you get married into. That's a different thing. But then you don't have the community. Your community also needs to see you build yourself up maybe they are also building themselves with you.
Exactly.
You know?
So many. Like for me, I completely agree. My community has lost weight with me.
Yeah.
You know?
And have built businesses with you.
Yeah. It's beautiful. I agree. That's so well put. That listen, you could be born in wealth, you could be married to wealth, but you won't have the community. Building that has its own beauty. You know?
It has its own charm. You feel proud of yourself and you don't get that imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
You're not faking it.
Yeah. You're building on the basis of who you are.
Yeah.
Right? No, I love that.
And always show 40% of what you are.
Yeah, I agree. I never used to be like that. I used to be an oversharer. Matlab, har koi cheez would be on my Snapchat. And I think as I'm getting older, I realized that not everything about my life needs to be on social media.
I think it comes with the privilege as well. Now you're at a point, I am also at a point where we don't need to share too much.
But, you know, I don't know if it comes with privilege, Virdah, because yeah, you're right. Maybe when I was younger, I did use certain moments of my life because I knew they were getting more views or whatever. You know, you do certain things के लिए पता है कि यार इससे तो view आएगा. मेरी personal life के बारे में जान के कुछ ऐसे लिखूंगी तो. But I mean, I'm still at 100 something K followers, but I don't think my...
I have to disagree here. I don't think numbers define anything. I might have 1 million, you might have 100K. The things that you've built, that's larger than the numbers. I was doing amazingly good at 200K. I was completely satisfied with my life. I was doing fabulous work, working with amazing brands. My engagement was good. People knew me wherever I go. I was content then and I'm content now. It doesn't have to do anything with numbers. I think with numbers comes a big responsibility. And not many people will know this. When you are at a certain smaller or like when you are at a smaller platform, your views are consistent. But when you are at a bigger platform, the views can be like a drastic change. Drastic.
I agree.
One day I get around 250K story views and the next day I'll be like 70,000 story views.
70,000 story views is crazy.
Yeah.
No, I get it. But I think it comes with, I think for me, like going from 5,000 followers to 140, I'm like, okay, this is too many people watching my life. I need to stop. Like, I can't, you know. And then I think age, maturity, priorities, all of that kind of comes in.
Things change. I think after a certain time, your followers have seen you, you also need to give them quality.
Yeah.
That's, you know,
I agree.
They deserve quality.
I can't be complaining about the Uber driver till now.
Or like small inconveniences. You can make a new account and bitch there. I do that.
Close friends only.
No. I bitch on by Virdah.
I know. I see both. Don't worry. I'm like, is this the same person? Like, what's happening? You're totally unfiltered.
Yeah.
But look, even that other account worked out in your favor. It's insane.
Everything has a silver lining. Whatever happens, happens for a reason. I read on Reddit that I disabled my account myself to build a new account so that I can generate income from two. Now see, now that's a vision.
Oh God, to take up the taunt like that and say that's the vision. That's I was going to ask you, like you said, no, you don't look at YouTube comments or TikTok comments. I was like, have you looked up yourself on Reddit?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah. I went down the rabbit hole and I created content out of it.
No way.
Yeah. They were very superficial, meaningless comments about me. Like I could literally... I was transported to that person's mindset and I was like, oh.
What a pity.
What a pity.
What a pity. Yeah, but it takes grace to do that. I don't have the courage to look myself up on Reddit.
Don't.
Yeah, I don't. Because someone almost hinted. I said, stop it. Don't tell me. You're reading it. You be happy. Do not tell me. I can't. I don't have that kind of
You have to be very mindful of the kind of content you consume.
So I'm exploring 2 games for my videos. Okay. The first one is called Mumkin or Not Mumkin. And how it works is that I'll read out some scenarios and you have to answer Mumkin or Not Mumkin and explain why.
Okay.
First one. Taking a high-paying brand deal that doesn't fully align but funds your independence.
It's controversial, even for me. Okay. I think if you're at the start of your career, you take whatever comes your way. Beggars can't be choosers. Once you reach a point, I think you can be selective. You can say no to a lot of things. I have said a no to a lot of brand deals, and I think it's okay.
Yeah. So it's Mumkin.
It's mumkin for sure.
Yeah, it's mumkin. No, I agree with you. I think
It's mumkin.
it's not mumkin.
Depends
Yeah.
what situation you're in. Like it's somebody's source of income.
Yeah, I get it. No, I get it.
If you need it, maybe you have some bills due. Take it.
Take it. Cool.
Content creation life is 24 hours. If it goes viral, it stays for long. But it's for 24 hours. Take it. Raat gayi, baat gayi.
No, I agree. Okay, posting content for consistency even when you're creatively exhausted.
You have to do it.
Mumkin.
Yeah. You plan in advance. Mumkin, for sure. Mumkin.
Yeah, I mean, that's your funda. clearly.
Yeah.
Okay. Living up to the expectations that others have for you.
Not mumkin, because people will have so many expectations. You can't fulfill all those. Just अपने आप को जो expectations हैं, just live up to those.
उनको
That's it.
Fair. Okay, so now the next game that I want to play is Mumkin Mantras. Okay, so I'm going to say a word or a sentence, and then you just tell me what comes to your mind. A word or a sentence. So I'm going to say a phrase, and you give me a word, sentence, whatever comes to your mind.
Okay.
One word that describes your journey.
Hustle.
Best advice you've ever received.
Be yourself.
Yes. Biggest myth about content creation.
It's all the glam. It's not. And it's very fake.
It's not the glam. It's not all the glam. One thing you'd do differently if you were starting over again.
I would start with videos. Yeah.
I mean, but when you started, that didn't exist. But
Yeah.
yeah.
One thing I would do different. I don't think so. Anything differently. Yeah.
You
I
embrace your
did
job.
what I liked. I was passionate about. That kept me going. So
And your definition of success?
peace in the present.
I love that.
Zen. Chill. No matter what life brings you, there is a new day. You wake up, you start over, and you make it happen. You make it mumkin.
You make it mumkin. Amazing. Thank you so much, Virdah, for your time and this beautiful, honest chat. I've told you this before, and I can say it a million times over, that I'm a fan of you for your consistency and discipline and sheer resilience. You know, I don't think it's masculinity that's in us. I think in us, it's resilience. It's a resilient nature. And may God give you more and more and more always.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Always grateful for your support. So honored to be here and get to do this. It's amazing. It's been an amazing experience. I wish you all the best and do bigger, better things. Make it mumkin.
Make it mumkin, inshallah. Thank you.
Thank you.